Okay, this is Michael Wilson Barber in Texas. Before we start this video, feel the power of the bamboo. Think about it. The esoteric power of the bamboo. Look at that. Watch the wind blow. Look at it sway and bend slowly in the wind. Okay. Okay, hello friends out there. We're not sponsored by John Deere. We are sponsored by Skooka Merch, where local hens are happy, buy local eggs. So friends, recently I digitized my mom and dad's old films from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I still have the New York World's Fair official guidebook. This is the front cover. It was $1 in 1964, 65. It's the 60th anniversary of the 1964-65 World's Fair. So imagine that. They did this for 2 years. Lots of ads are in this guidebook. On the back you have Coca-Cola displayed prominently, as you would consider. Things go better with Coke. So I'm sure they sold a lot of Coke at the fair. So, friends, this did cost $1 in 1964, 65. So, in 2025 money, what would that be? About 7 cents, 8 cents, because the dollar has devalued so much, that fiat currency that the Federal Reserve issues to us. So anyway, I was wondering too, if there was a World's Fair today, which there might be, I don't know, it would probably not be as popular as the New York World's Fair, St. Louis World's Fair 1904, Chicago World's Fair 1892. But there's so many ads in this guidebook. It's unfortunate that they wouldn't have all the ad revenue, because they probably wouldn't sell a guidebook. Everything would be on an app, right? But probably if you went to the fair, there would be video screens with ads on the video screens. But this was the era of the Mad Men, I guess, back in the early 60s. So I want to show you some of these ads. And at the end of this video, I do want to show some of the film footage that my dad probably filmed, maybe my mom. So the 1964 World's Fair was in Queens. You can see there it's just east of Shea Stadium, and a very large area, including some lakes or ponds. Did they call it a lake? Yeah, lake. So there's lots of great ads in this book, as well as guide to like the fair and the different exhibits. So I can't show everything, but I wanted to show you this Kent ad. There's lots of cigarette ads in this World's Fair guide. So here's Kent. Is Kent still made today? I don't know. Here's an ad by Revlon. I'm sure some of the Mad Men were proud of this one. Does Revlon still exist? I bet they do. Lots of alcohol ads in here. Lots of scotch and whiskey. Here's some blended whiskey, black and white. So there's no vodka ads in this World's Fair guide. Remember, it's the height of the Cold War, so nobody apparently was drinking vodka or advertising vodka. Here's a page that shows these smiling dolphins or whatever, and log flume. But I wanted to read some of this caption down here. It says, "See the grinning porpoises at the Florida exhibit? And among the gifted animals at the fair are a bull in a boudoir, I guess that's a dress, a gorilla on a bike, and a dog that models fashions. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see the gorilla on a bike and the bull in the boudoir and a dog that models fashions. So that's pretty funny. I guess not politically correct would not be allowed today. Here's something else that may not be allowed today. Here's a whole page with hula dancers from the Hawaii exhibit. Here's a flamenco dancer from Spain, I guess, Spain exhibit. And here's a lady on ice skates. Where is she from? From Sweden. Here's an ice skating lady from Sweden. So, again, I don't think that these would be exhibits today at a World's Fair. Let's see here. Oh, you got to see this. So they have some of these like Futurama ads and exhibitions where they're trying to predict the future. This one predicts undersea cities with people living in undersea houses under the sea. So it says this is just based on knowledgeable guesses. And this one has not come true. But it is in Star Wars Phantom Menace Episode 1. They have undersea cities, the Gunga Din, where Jar Jar lives. I mean, it could happen. There's lots of real estate out there. I got $1 billion idea for some real estate developer out there. We got lots of ocean floor, undeveloped. How about we build some apartments out there? We can live under the sea. Maybe have an octopus's garden. I don't know. Well, that one did not come true. Here's a cool ad from the Continental Insurance Company. And look, it shows this general. I guess he worked with General Washington, or was he? No, he was a major general. And it said that, what does it say? The New York World's Fair, if not for him, might be the British Colonial Exposition. So that's pretty clever. Does this company still exist? The Continental Insurance Company? I don't know. Next, here's another whiskey ad. It's a whiskey called Schlenley. They make it look really good in this ad. A blended whiskey. I've never heard of it. I don't know if it still exists. But lots of alcohol and tobacco ads. Quite a few car ads. Here's a 64 Rambler. And it's advertised as the lowest priced U.S. car. And nice looking car. Apparently they were selling for about $1,800 in 1964. You could go back in a time machine like, what was that guy on Back to the Future? Biff. If you could go back in a time machine and buy like 20 Ramblers for under $2,000 a piece, let's say for $40,000, lock them in a garage for 60 years and sell them today. You had 20 of them, and you could sell them for $17,000 to $20,000 a piece, like brand new, no mileage. What would that be, like $400,000? That would be cool. Yeah, I'd like to do that. 64 Rambler. Okay, here's something that is also kind of weird. Westinghouse has a time capsule that you can sign at the Westinghouse Pavilion. Does that company still exist? And 5,000 years from now, civilization is going to open the time capsule. Is that really going to happen? Is anyone going to know where the time capsule is 5,000 years from now? I don't even think Westinghouse still exists, do they? So, the 20th century can say hello to the 70th century. A 5,000 year time capsule. I don't know, man. It could happen, I guess. Okay, Mad Men. Here's an ad for Honda. And there's a dude, military dude, with a cute girl right on the back of his Honda. And it says, "You meet the nicest people on a Honda." Look, if you owned a Honda, this could be you. Okay, this is really important. U.S. Steel built the Unisphere. So this is pretty famous. This is an image of the Unisphere, and it's 12 stories high. It was the largest Earth model in history at that time in 1964-65. I don't know if a larger model has been built. My guess is it probably has. So some of the footage my dad filmed in 1964 is of the Unisphere. So I'll show you that. I'll attach it to this video. This did come true in this Delco display of the future. And it basically says that in the future, you're going to be able to take a card and get your car plugged into a computer, which can basically do a diagnostic of your car and test and see what's wrong with your car. It came true, people. This came true probably by the 1970s or 80s for sure. This was true. You could plug your car into a computer and it could diagnose your car. Now, it didn't use the word diagnosed. It just says it could tell how your car is functioning and proper performance of your shocks, brakes, engine, ignition, all the vital parts of your car by AC Delco. So that one did come true. And lastly, I got to show you this. The 1964 Oldsmobile. This ad in here, and I think this is a two-door coupe. Well, for much of my life, my dad actually owned a 1964 Oldsmobile. He had a four-door, and I just was shocked when I saw this in the official guidebook, and I thought, did Dad go to the World's Fair and see an ad for 64 Olds and decide that it was a good time for him to buy one? I don't know, but that's what he had. He had a 64 Olds. But he had the four-door, not a coupe, because he was going to be a family man, you see. So, anyway, that's a quick review of the New York World's Fair official guidebook. It's full of ads with scotch and whiskey and cigarettes and women with makeup like Revlon, a woman on the back of the Honda with like a military guy, like a colonel or a captain or something, driving his Honda, and it said, "You meet the nicest people." So it's pretty funny. Some of the things did come true. Many of the things here did not come true. And I didn't really want to do a lot of homework on this video, but I really think a lot of these companies' ads that are in here simply don't exist anymore. And it's been 60 years since the New York World's Fair. So I'll attach some of the film from my mom and dad at the World's Fair. God bless. Goodbye. Meet me in New York, New York. Okay, this scene here shows the General Motors exhibition, and it shows a Unisphere over here. I think it was 12 stories tall, something like that. So I don't know if my dad's filming or my mom, but this is a World's Fair here, 1964, 1965. I guess those are all that's like the roads in and out of Queens or whatever. And let's see if we can find some more footage of the Unisphere. Okay, here they are at the Illinois State Exhibition. the New York World's Fair. So Lincoln is there, and some quotes of Lincoln, bust of Lincoln. Here they are filming a film at the World's Fair, and it's messing up. So I thought that was interesting. So okay, they took the Circle Line to the Statue of Liberty out in New York Harbor. So there it is, I guess, off in the distance there. And this film is very poor. I guess here's one coming back, I guess. The ferry. And then you can barely see it right there. Look at that. And then it kind of disappears. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're getting closer, getting closer, getting closer. Oh, there we are. Standing at the base. They blown it up. What have you done? What did Charlton Heston say? He said, they blew it up. Well, there it is. Lady Liberty. I guess at this time she was close to 100 years old, like 90 years old, maybe. 80 years old. So there is some people. I don't know who they are. And I guess they're taking the ferry back to Manhattan. Or, yeah, Manhattan. So. Okay, I don't know who that is. She's pouring Coke into Coran's glass. There's my mom. There's Uncle Coy. I guess that's Ronnie Lukai. Anyway, there's my mom right there on the left. And there's Leslie and Aunt Marie and Andy. They're eating pizza and drinking Coke. Everything goes better with Coke. So, there's my mom. So that was Dad filming. Okay, here's some more footage of the Unisphere. It's not very good. There's something else. Wow, he didn't really pan on the Unisphere for very long. I guess this is like the entrance or whatever into the World's Fair. 1964-65. The madmen of the 60s would just be laughing at Cracker Barrel right now. There's General Motors again. Cracker Barrel's new logo is incredibly plain and lame. I don't know if they're going to lose millions or not, but we shall see. So these Mad Men ads from the New York Guide World's Fair were pretty amazing, and some of the things of the future came true. And let's see, here's the Unisphere again. So 12 stories high. All right, y'all, have a good day.